Everybody sees the fun parts about having a farm at the Rylee Ranch, but nobody talks about the reality of having a farm. See this beautiful chain link fence we put up a few years ago? Well, it was designed for animals, not for Abigail the cow. And as you can see, Abigail wants to eat the trees and the grass, so she's broken every single section of this fence. So we've put temporary wood on it until we can replace the fence. Yep, look at that. Abigail broke every single fence because look at this. She wants all the trees we've been planting in here because we're trying to do something nice. Can't do nothing nice here at the Rylee Ranch. Abigail doesn't care. And then all of a sudden you put a hay bale out for the animals so they have lots of hay to eat. And it pours rain for a week, so the hay is crap, and now we gotta throw it out. Yep, so much for that idea. And then you got those adoptive animals like Eeyore who came with really, really bad hooves that we try to fix, but they're so overgrown from 20 years of neglect. And then you got to deal with the compost. So like all the food the animals don't eat, all the hay when you clean the stalls, well, you have to have a giant compost on your property. And then we bring in mulch to cover it so it looks clean and restore the area. But it's not fun cleaning all these animals. But we take the compost, we cover it in mulch, and we basically try to restore the area and build up the land. And then if you have pigeons at the farm, well, these things just keep producing at a super accelerated rate. So if you're not paying attention for a couple weeks because life takes over, all of a sudden there's more and more and more. Where do you guys all come from? And then somehow you decide you want to get parrots, which is a terrible, terrible idea because they destroy everything. Well, that is so expensive, so much work. Sometimes they try to attack you. George, we're not doing this today. And then you're recording a video and someone yells. And then because it's been insane rain, like record rain, you buy a bunch of trees so that they can get to the ground. And then all of a sudden it's super hot and there's heat warnings. And all my trees, yep, they're drying out. That's how fast it changes here. And then you remember that big cow that broke that expensive fence? Yep, that's Abigail. And she's gonna cost us a couple $1,000s just to build a new wood fence. Apparently you're too heavy. And then you got the llama. Well, I gotta be honest, the llama doesn't really cost too much work. Same with this guy, the alpaca doesn't do much. And geese, well, they're really loud and they hide their eggs and they produce tiny geese. And if someone told you to eat a turkey, well, this guy is real mean and 9 years old. Ralph, you jerk. And then you got chickens raising geese. Chickens raising chickens. And of course, the normal person has dogs. And these things need a lot of love. And poodles, they need a lot of haircuts. Can you get out of my shirt? If anyone ever told you owning a herd of goats is a good idea, well, it's not. You buy them flowers, you give them pasture, they jump on you. You guys, this is really not the way I like this. They've gone through 3 or 4 houses. You know, in June, we had torrential rain here, way too much rain. Now July, we're having like heat waves. And then all of a sudden winter hits and it's freezing cold. There's never a nice day here. But see this? This is the future home of a huge goat house we're building. And then you can see in here the chicken area. Well, we planted lots and lots of trees to help it dry up and look prettier. And then this is the problem with buying an old farm. It comes with an old barn that you have to spend more and more money to fix up. But this thing needs a lot of love all the time. Do you know how much it costs to build a new barn? Probably not happening today. And with record amounts of rain come record amounts of mud. Like, we need some hot weather to dry this up. Like, look at all the mud. And when you start with a couple velociraptors and you love them, all of a sudden you have a big, huge family of them. Don't be like us. Be smarter. Anyone got any ideas how to fix this giant sludge of mud? All the water went here and the mud turned into sludge. And it's like a foot deep. I don't know how to fix it. If you have like a 900-pound pig, you put them in an area, they eat all the grass, they turn the dirt into mud, and it's always, always, always a pig pen. Yep, this is where Merida is, and as you can see, there's no grass left because it doesn't matter where you put her, she eats it all. But good news for Merida, we're actually in the process of building Merida a new deck, so Merida has a nice, clean area to lay. This whole area of Merida's pen is going to be converted to a giant deck so she can eat and lay in the sun. And you constantly need to get more and more wood for the wood stove. And then you got your front lawn, which desperately needs to be cut, but ain't nobody got time for that because we got a whole farm to feed. So we're just going to let this turn into a forest. It's actually kind of nice because we never cut the front lawn and it actually does turn into a forest. And then you got the ducks. I would say these are probably the messiest, dirtiest animals you could have on a farm. They never, ever, ever, ever stop pooping no matter where you put them. They're filthy. Well, they look pretty clean right now.